It all began on a cold autumn night in a small town called Santa Felicia in rural Illinois. Julia, a 17-year-old girl, was spending a few days at her grandmother's house. She needed some time alone to study and recover from a recent anxiety crisis. The house was old, surrounded by a dense and silent forest. On the first night, while they were having dinner, her grandmother said something that Julia found strange. "If you hear footsteps in the hallway at night, don't open your eyes. And if he tries to speak to you, pretend you're asleep." Julia laughed, thinking it was just another spooky story her grandma liked to tell to impress her. But the old woman didn't smile. "It's the Sandman. He shows up when someone is vulnerable. He enters your dreams and takes a piece of your soul." That night, Julia had trouble sleeping. The forest outside seemed to whisper through the windows. And around 3 a.m., something happened. She heard footsteps, soft, dragging footsteps, like someone barefoot walking slowly across the wooden floor. Julia froze. Her grandmother's words echoed in her mind. But curiosity got the best of her. She opened her eyes. There, in the corner of the room, he was standing, tall, thin, dressed in what looked like charred rags. His skin was pale grey, and his face was covered by a thin veil of drifting sand, floating like smoke. Where his eyes should have been, there were only dark, empty holes. And from them, golden grains of sand trickled down. He didn't move. He just stared at her. Julia tried to scream, but no sound came out. The air felt thick, like time itself had stopped. Then, he whispered, "I see your fears, and I can make them real." She blinked, and suddenly, she was back in bed. But something felt off. The door was now locked from the inside, and at the foot of the bed were footprints made of sand. The next morning, she tried to tell her grandmother, who only held her hand and said, "Now that you've seen him, he'll come back. He always does." Over the next few days, Julia started losing sleep. She constantly woke up feeling watched. Dark circles formed under her eyes. She began hearing whispers in her ear. Mirrors showed reflections that weren't hers. On her last night, she wrote a letter to her mother saying she had to leave, but she never got the chance to send it. The next morning, when her grandmother entered the room, the bed was empty. All that was left was sand. Lots of sand. On the floor,